Hi, everyone. I have no idea how this video is going to turn out because of all the lighting, weird things that are going on behind me. Looks a little cartoonish, I guess, which is kind of a really great metaphor for life right now, for how life feels and how things are feeling. Feels like it's not real. Like it feels like it's not real sometimes. And sometimes it just feels tense, like super tense. So yeah, here we are. We're going to talk about the Libra full moon that will be happening on April 5th. Could be it, and it's actually depends on where you are time wise. Could be April 6th, like super early April 6th, or super late April 5th. We're going to look at that chart here in a minute. This is the full moon leading us up to the eclipse season. So after this full moon, we will have a solar eclipse in Aries. It'll be the second Aries new moon. And we're going to talk about that when it comes. I had to take a deep breath because it's like, oh my God, eclipse season is coming. Like, haven't we had enough? No, we have not had enough, because also with this full moon, Mercury begins his pre-shadow retrograde. Mercury retrograde begins on April 21st. So we have the Libra full moon, we have the solar eclipse, we have Mercury retrograde, all happening just in these next couple of weeks. So yeah, March was really exciting. Generational shift happened. And now it's like, I don't know if you guys recognize it, but it's almost like, okay, well, there is no break. There is, like, you got to take your time to breathe. You got to take your time to rest. You got to take your time to get things taken care of in your life, while you have the momentum, while you have the time to do that. If you would like to know how this solar eclipse is going to affect you, how the solar eclipse season, we'll have this solar eclipse, and then we'll have the full moon lunar eclipse happening in Scorpio. That'll be happening in May. But yeah, it's an interesting time to be alive. That's for sure. So yeah, so I've got a reading available for the eclipse season, and then like we'll even talk about the October ones too, the eclipse season in October. We'll talk about Mercury retrograde in that reading. It's not a live reading with me, it's recorded, but that's only for a limited time special. I'm offering that. So that's all, that information is in the description box. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look, and it's interesting. So this is the Libra full moon happening on April 5th. 10:34 p.m. Mountain Time. So it'll be 12:34 a.m. Eastern on April 6th. And it'll be 9:34 p.m. Pacific. But yeah, so the Libra full moon, look at this. It's insane. It's insanity. Look at this happening here. And we have Mars up here in Cancer. We just had that Mars trine Saturn just a couple of days before the full moon happens. Like, I think April 1st. I think today, actually. Yeah, today is that Mars trine Saturn energy happening. And we have the Chiron Kazemi the day before the full moon. So there's a lot of healing. Like, this full moon is probably going to bring out so much of those healing those parts of you, the healing that needs to be looked at when it comes to showing up for yourself. Libra, if we're talking about the Libra Aries axes, and it's important that we talk about the Libra Aries axes because the North Node will be regressing to Aries in July. So just a couple of months from now, we're going to have a North Node we're going to have the North Node in a different sign as well. So the energy of, what it is that the collective will be focusing on is going to be shifting even more, is going to be changing even more. And during this, the Chiron in Aries and Jupiter in Aries, there's really this standing up for ourselves. We're seeing a lot of, in the regardless of what you believe or not, like this isn't up for political discussion or anything like that, but we can see it with those in the trans world, really having to stand up for themselves, for women's rights, even like the reproductive rights. We're still having to stand up for ourselves when it comes to that. There's a lot of healing the feminine wound in a really, really big way. And just, the I am, who am I? That wound, right? And that's why I bring up the trans gender, all of that's coming up right now in the world is very much we're trying to find out who we are. They're trying to find out who they are. And with I preach a lot of grace, I preach a lot of compassion, but the Aries Libra axis, the Aries is about the I am, which is where that solar eclipse is going to be on April 19th, versus the Libra is about them. It's about us, right? It's about the relationship side of things. So when we look at this axis, this Libra full moon, no matter where it is in your chart, there's this push and pull that's going to be happening between the I am and, like how far do we go to appease other people? Do we appease people at all? Do we, do we compromise at all? Do we just focus on what we want? There's a really big argument that's happening in the world right now. And this is the biggest division is, do I focus just on myself or do I focus on humanity? Like, and finding that there's a fine line between those two, finding that medium, finding that compromise, finding that fine line. We have to focus on ourselves. We have to be able to work on ourselves. We are all so individually wounded in a lot of ways. And this is where that spirituality argument comes in, like we are all one. We are all made from the same concept. We are all made from the same source. We all came from the same place. But we all have individual lives and we all have individual spaces that we're creating, and we all have individual perceptions and we're all healing in different ways. And so grace and compassion, goes a really, really long way these days. It goes a really long way. So, and it starts with yourself. If you can't have grace and compassion with yourself, then who can you be kind and compassionate to? If you can't even do it for yourself, probably can't do it for anybody else either. So, and as we move into a more humanitarian time, this Pluto in Aquarius may not make a huge, gigantic splash, but there are going to be some clues as to what we should be focusing on when it comes to the humanitarian relief, because things are going to have to fall before they can rise again. And we saw that a lot with Pluto and Capricorn and capitalism and how just housing effects and the rise of the inflation and just all of that is, it's not sustainable. not sustainable at all. So there's a whole new energy that we're all sort of stepping into. And a lot of people are aggressively angry these days. A lot of people are aggressively angry these days. And I think that this full moon in Libra is going to be shining a light, like on a personal level, it's going to be shining a light on the ways that you need to show up for yourself in relationships in all the ways, right? Like if you're just kind of succumbing, like sacrificing yourself for people, that's going to be really loud, and you're going to feel really restricted in a lot of ways with the triggering of this Chiron here. And you may not be able to hold it in. Mercury is going to be conjunct the North Node at 1 degree, right? You may not be able to hold that in. And you're not supposed to hold that in. If it's not comfortable for you, if it's not working for you, you're not supposed to be able to hold that in, right? And if it's, if it's triggering you, that is something to look at. Libra is the sign of the great mirror. Libra is that mirror image, right? The balance. Libra is our light side and our shadow side. And so we're going to be seeing for ourselves what that looks like and what it is that's being triggered for ourselves for all of this. And it's not, it's, doesn't get past me that it's happening right before the eclipse season starts. So here we go. Buckle up. Get ready for this. So let's do some cards. Let's get a couple of surrender cards. Let me show you, for those of you who are new, we're looking at the power of surrender. Love this, love this. Surrender to your full power. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. We are surrendering to our full power, and surrender the drama. The irony that the full moon will be happening in Libra and Aries, and we have to surrender the drama. No matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. Surrender the drama. Well. All right. So glad. Okay. So what is it that we can expect for the full moon in Libra? Clarity is what I'm hearing, as the sun was the first card to flip over in the deck. We have the sun. Sorry for the glare. Then we have justice for that Libra full moon. Look at that, showing up loud and proud. And then we have the 9 of Pentacles. Nice. So clarity. And with that 9 of Pentacles, really feeling very independent. Let's get a couple more cards. We have the Ace of Cups. We have the King of Cups. And then I don't know if you guys saw that, you might have to rewind it, but the Tower just like fell out from the bottom of the deck. So we're going to take it because it wants to be heard. Ace of Cups, King of Cups, Tower. So for some of you, you are healing yourselves, and in the process of filling up your own cup and the process of making your own emotions known, the Tower shows up. The Tower is all about course correction. The Tower is all about shifting a foundation that needed to be redirected, like in a very big way. It needed to be redirected. So, and with this Tower shift, with this course correction, there's clarity. There's some kind of balance that's happening, that's occurring, and there's clarity as well. But it's also helping, for some of you, it's helping you to become independent in some way. All right, let's see what the sun. Oh, okay. So looking at things in a different perspective. So we have on the sun, we have the Hanged Man and the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is a self-imposed imprisonment of the mind. So you have this opportunity. While you are in this paused momentum, you can gain clarity from the situation, or you can overthink the situation. I feel like there's this, like, you being in this paused momentum. A lot of times when we're in the Hanged Man position, we're almost being forced. Like, for me, the Hanged Man position often means that I get sick in some way. And I'm like, my body's like, or I just get really exhausted or something, like my body's forcing me to take a moment to pause, so that I can see things from a different perspective and not necessarily like get all up in my feelings. But you're gaining clarity during this. You can easily overthink it with that Eight of Swords if you want to. I don't think you want to. Oops. Let's try that again. So Justice. Let's get this Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, King of Cups. Maybe not. Nope. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we have the Knight of Swords on Justice. And you can't, and that's the thing, is like the rushing. Like, I feel like if you're overthinking the process, that's what's going to make you want to rush into it. But by remaining calm, that's where the balance is going to be. But you could also get into an argument with a Libra. There, for some of you, you're either arguing with the law or you're arguing with a Libra. Six of Cups on the Nine of Pentacles. Nice. That makes me feel like even if you're doing things, even if you're creating this independence for yourself, you still have help from others. That Six of Cups makes me feel like you actually, like, you have people around you that you can trust. You don't have to do it on your own. And then we have the Three of Swords on the Ace of Cups. For some of you, I feel like some of you are getting a divorce, or some of you are like going through a legal battle with someone, but it feels kind of like a divorce, and you feel sort of like you're in limbo with that. But that's why this Ace of Cups is here with the Three of Swords, because it feels like there's healing that's happening. Like that, I feel like the Three of Swords moment has already happened, or it was this argument that's happened. And because there was such a good foundation to begin with, like the Three of Swords, it hurts, but it's easier to heal because you feel stronger within yourself. Like you feel more resilient with your own self. And so it's just easier to heal. So let's see. King of Cups. Oh yeah, okay. And then the Tower. And then the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Wands. Okay. So on the King of Cups, we have the Six of Wands. So for me, the King of Cups it feels like just about being honest with how you feel. You could be extra emotional at this time, whether you're a man or you're a woman. This is just how you're feeling. And being honest about your emotions and being honest with how you feel about things at this time, that's the success. Like, that's what that feels like. I almost feel like this King of Cups person is, it's like you're like showing people how it's done. Like, you're showing people how to rise above. You're showing people how to get through the difficult times in life. You're showing people how to do it with grace. You're showing people how to have those emotions to respond instead of react. You know, that's what that feels like. And then we have the Chariot with the Tower. I think it's just you moving forward is that, you know, I mean, like, you're creating Tower moments. The more you move forward, the more you are honest about how you feel, the more you create your journey, the more decisions that you make, right? The more you're firm about the decisions that you make, the more you're moving forward. And of course, it's going to create Tower moments, but it just feels like life right now is just a bunch of Tower moments just sort of lined up right next to each other. So, like, you know, I mean, I'm used to it. I don't know about you guys, but right? Just like surrendering the drama is literally asking yourself, like, is it worth it for me to lose my shit? Is it worth it for me to like have all of this drama in my life all the time? Like, is it worth it for all of that? Or can I just be like, you know what? I'm not going to get in the middle of this when other people come at you, right? And then surrendering to your full power. You can second guess yourself all you want. You can fight with people who are just trying to find balance in life all you want. You can sit in the sadness. Like, there's nothing said that life was going to be easy, you know? So if we just sat in the sadness all the time, you know, then nothing is ever going to get done. Nothing's ever going to feel good again. So picking yourself up by your bootstraps. That's a Midwest saying. Weird. Okay. All right, you guys. I love you. We're in weird times right now, but we're all doing it together. So here we go. Take good care of yourselves. Bye.